If I'm Being Honest, by I Don't Know Man on AO3. Episode 16, Chapter 4, Serving It Up, Gary's Way. Fuck. Honestly, Todoroki generally didn't mind his class knowing his sexuality. He had never avoided revealing it, per se. He more had always just assumed that they would figure it out on their own at some point or something. But this, with 12 pairs of eyes training solely on him, this was distressing. The window was looking ridiculously enticing right about now. If he escaped, he could surely get a job and change his name. Then, incredibly, it was Bakugou who broke the silence. So Icy Hot is gay. Big deal. Doesn't make him any less of a fuckwad. Todoroki had never been happier to be called a fuckwad. Fitting for his quirk, Bakugou's comment effectively broke the ice, and the room suddenly became much, much too loud. Of course it's not a big deal, Ida exclaimed earnestly, hands swiveling to point at Todoroki. Wait, you mean you didn't already know? Kaminari snorted. Please. Todoroki basically let rainbows trail whenever he walks, like some sort of gay snail. With that flattering comparison, Kaminari ruffled Todoroki's hair in a show of gay/bi solidarity? His electricity rendering Todoroki's hair remediously by fury. Ashido declared yet another moment of silence for the fangirls. She seemed to be fond of that joke. Well, Todoroki supposes it could have gone worse. Coming out, that is. Not that he had ever really planned to, though. Todoroki flissed himself, a pretty private guy, so any kind of public sharing like this wasn't really his style. Despite his less than poetic analogy, I agree with Kaminari. Yario's amused. To be honest, I just assumed that you were keeping it private on purpose. If you don't mind me asking. Todoroki, how come you never said anything? Todoroki shrugged. It never came up. The room blinked simultaneously. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't... never mind. Yarozu sighed. I'm just happy that you feel comfortable telling us all. This is awesome, Kirishima exclaimed. Now I can finally be your wingman. Not to brag, but I've literally never failed in sparking the sweet, sweet flame of romance at my friends. Be honest. Jiro smirked. I doubt Todoroki needs a wingman, especially you, Nikita boy. Have you ever seen the things people tweet about him? Have you somehow forgotten the feline gait? You probably hurt his chances, if anything. Kirishima gasped indigently. I'm about to hurt more than just Todoroki's chances. A pillow flew across the room and smacked Kirishima on the face. Oh, it's on, Jiro challenged, brandishing another pillar in her left hand. Now, let's not resort to violence, Ayama said nervously. Fighting between friends is unseemly, oi. With the whack of another pillow across Ayama's metallically swept locks, all talk of peace swiftly became obsolete. I'll make you pay for that, mon cher. This lovely cushion does not style itself. With the room firmly settled back into the comfortable chaos, Todoroki found the smallest of smiles grazing his lips as he leaned back into the couch to avoid the line of pillow fire. Tsuyu looked confused. How were there people that didn't already know, but then patted his leg one time? He was going to miss moments like these when he graduated. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Bakugou peering at him. Todoroki returned the look for a few seconds, and somehow seemed to pass between them, until Bakugou rolled his eyes and went to aid Kirishima in the battle against Jiro and Aoyama. Todoroki then noticed the weight missing to his right of him. Midoriya was gone. He hadn't said so much as a word to Todoroki about unintentionally confessing. Could it be that Midoriya had a problem? No way. Todoroki shook his head, clearing that ridiculous thought. This was Midoriya he was talking about. That guy was as far from intolerant as they come, and apparently found Todoroki attractive. Todoroki coughed. Then where the hell did he go? Oh, Midoriya was currently huddled halfway down the hallway with Uraraka, their conversation inaudible from Todoroki's position. He appeared to be whispering frantically, his arm gesturing as he spoke. Uraraka laughed and put a hand on her hip, smirking through her reply. Todoroki really wished he could hear what she said, because Midoriya probably began resembling a tomato, visibly stuttering, as he shook Uraraka's shoulders. Uraraka smiled again as she spoke, patting Midoriya's hand where it rested on one of her shoulders. Midoriya returned the favor, albeit his smile a bit more wobbly, and gave Uraraka a quick hug. Why hadn't lip reading been part of hero training? Even though he knew it was childish, Todoroki felt jealousy slimmer in the pit of his gut. He envied the closeness with Midoriya, craved it. He wanted to be the one whispering with Midoriya in the corner, heads bound together as their breaths intermingled with laughter. Midoriya looked up and caught Todoroki staring, quickly repeating his imitation of a tomato. Out of the corner of his eye, Todoroki saw Uraraka smirk again and lightly shove Midoriya in his direction. So, Todoroki. Jiro flipped into Midoriya's old space, bits of downed feather stuck in her hair. As a fellow rainbow-trailing snail, I'd like to welcome you to the club with a friendly, motherly advice. She paused dramatically. Never forget to use lube. Todoroki choked out his own spit. Okay. Next one is chapter 5. So do we think they're gonna confess in chapter 5 and then chapter 6 is them together and like the quirk wearing off? Because I would love to see a relationship where like they're together, but there's still the whole thing about, being able, Todoroki being, fully honest no matter what. I think that would be cool, like kind of like Cherry Magic. Cherry Magic was a really cool, anime that I really liked the idea of like the whole still being able to read minds kind of thing until, a certain character lost their cherry. Cherry Magic is not for the faint of heart. Anyways, but like, is it gonna be like that? I really hope it would be like that. And if not, I don't know, maybe I'll write something similar to Cherry Magic, but instead of it being Cherry Magic and having to lose your cherry to have, and instead of that shit, it's just like a quirk related kind of thing, where like somebody's quirk makes you hear other people's thoughts that you are touching kind of situation, it's so, yeah. Or maybe have Izuku have that quirk. That's his quirk, being able to read people's thoughts. Which would be super cool. Oh my god, guys, I need to stop. I need to focus on the writings that I'm doing now. I wrote 55,000 words that I just deleted the other day. I deleted. Why? Because I didn't like the beginning and I needed to rewrite the whole thing. And you know what? I'm currently rewriting it and I already have 3,000 words in it wasn't 1 hour, it was like 2 hours, but still. Why can't I do that for my other writings? Like, why can't I do that for my other writings? And it's not like, oh, well, my other writings, I'm not passionate about them. I am passionate about them, but okay, you know what? No, I solved it. The reason why I could do that to those and not this, to that story, but not my other stories, is because my other stories I already have a line of, work that it's like, okay, I now know I'm writing it and I now know that I am perfecting it as much as I can. I'm perfecting it as I write. I'm critiquing it as I write. I'm doing this as I write, right? And I'm making sure that it's the best possible thing for you guys. That 50,000 words, 55,000 words, 55K. Those 55K words of that other fanfic were absolute garbage. Why? Because I wrote it at like 1 a.m. in the morning, super sleepy. I was not doing any grammar checks. I was not doing any spell checks. I was just writing. I was just writing whatever came into my mind. A writer's sprint, if you would. And then I deleted all of it because I didn't end up liking the beginning and I wanted to redo the beginning and redo everything and the whole dynamics between them. And that's probably going to continue happening. I'm going to continue write, unwrite, which is not that bad. I think I'm going to keep certain fics where I write and unwrite them, write and I unwrite them, and I do it that way so that the fics that I truly actually really want to be really good, because like, don't get me wrong, that other fic that I'm working on, it's not a fic that I am going to put all my heart and energy into, to the point where it's like I want it to be absolutely perfect because it's an idea that has been envisioned in my head. It was just a silly little, what if I do this kind of, aspect thing, which is why I did that. Anyways, I'm sorry I'm going on a long... The next chapter is called Oh My Christian Twitter. Twitter's not Christian. Summary. Tomfoolery abounds. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.